Good morning, students. How are you all? Once again, I welcome you all to the online English classes. Today's discussion is going to be a bit different because today we are not going to talk about any of the literature chapters from your Marigold book. Instead, we are going to discuss a bit of grammar. Our today's discussion is going to be on adverbs. Now, this is one such grammar chapter about which you have a lot of idea. You've been learning about this from a very young age. Today also, we are going to relearn all the things that are there in adverbs. So today's video is basically a revision of adverbs where you'll get to know about the different types of adverbs that are there and what examples each of those types have. So it's going to be a detailed discussion on adverbs, but you have to remember that this is a revision. Since you already know a lot about adverbs, today's video is just going to help you in brushing up your existing knowledge. But before we dive deep into the discussion of the chapter adverbs, it is very important to know what exactly is an adverb. The students, many times it has been seen that whenever any question from an adverb comes, students can easily give examples, but when they're asked to define, they're not able to do that. Okay, so the very first thing that we should know about an adverb is that it is a part of speech. Yes, there are 8 parts of speech. Among those 8 parts, adverb is one of the parts and one of the very important parts. So every time you are asked to define an adverb, you can write an adverb is a word that describes or modifies a verb, adjective or adverb. And many adverbs end in ly. So this is something that we all know about. Yes, whenever we get to know anything extra about a noun or we find any word that is describing the noun, we call it an adjective, right? But when we get any extra information about a verb or an adjective, that word is called, or the word that is giving us the extra information about the verb and the adjective, that particular word is called an adverb. And most of the adverbs end in ly. Not all. You have to keep this in mind. Not all adverbs end in ly, because then it will be very difficult for you to identify. But you have to know that most of the adverbs, they end in ly. Now that you know what exactly the definition of an adverb is, let's move on to our discussion of the various types of adverbs. So adverbs have many parts. Let us see what those are. Adverbs can be of many types, but in today's video, we are going to discuss only about the 4 main types of adverbs. That is, the adverb of manner, adverb of time, adverb of place and adverb of frequency. These are basically the types of adverbs that have been mentioned in your book. That is why we're going to talk about these in great detail. But there are also other types of adverbs which you should know about. So some of them are adverb of degree, adverb of reason, adverb of affirmation or negation, adverb of conjunction, interrogative adverb and relative adverb as well. Now, the higher you'll go up in your classes, the more you'll learn about adverbs. Now, let us first see what an adverb of manner means. An adverb of manner describes how something happens. It answers the question how. This type of adverb is usually placed after the object or the verb. Now, students, whenever you are reading a statement and you already know how to make a question, if your question is starting with a how and that particular word which is answering your how, that word is called an adverb. Let us see some examples. She moved rapidly. Now, if you ask the question, how did she move? What answer will you get? She moved rapidly. So, rapidly is written in bold and hence this is the adverb here. And picked up her child quickly. How did she pick up her child? She picked up her child quickly. They whispered softly to each other. Now, how did they whisper? They whispered softly. So you see, in both these statements, every time you're asking a question with the word how, the particular word which is answering that how in the question, that word is your adverb. Now let us see some more examples. He swims well. Now if you ask the question, how does he swim? This is the answer you'll get. He swims well. Yes, so well is the adverb here. All the bold words here, all the bold lettered words are the adverbs here. He ran quickly. How did he run? He ran quickly. She spoke softly. How did she speak? She spoke softly. James coughed loudly to attract her attention. Now, if you ask the question, how did James cough to attract her attention? He coughed loudly. Okay. He plays the flute beautifully. So, how does he play the flute? He could have played it not a beautiful way. Yes. But here we know that he is playing the flute beautifully. So, it is written after the direct object. You see, the flute is the object. So, the adverb of manner has been added right after the object. He ate the chocolate cake greedily. How did he eat the chocolate cake? He ate it greedily. So, the word greedily is telling us how this person had his chocolate cake. Yes. So, this is the reason why greedily is the adverb of manner here. Now let us see how we can form adverbs of manner. As you already know, we get to know more about verbs and adjectives because of adverbs. Now let us see how we can make adjectives into adverbs. So the first three words that you can see in adjectives, beautiful, slow and bad. These can be made into adverbs simply by adding ly. So once you add ly, what do you get? Beautifully, slowly and badly. Now let's come to the next set of words. Here all the three words are ending with y. Happy, noisy and easy. Now students, you have to keep one thing in mind, that whenever you are dealing with an adjective that is finishing in y or is ending in y, you have to replace the letter y with an I and then you have to add ly. As you can see in the examples, happily, noisily and easily. Yes, so all the y in the adjectives have been replaced with I and after that the ly has been added. And our final set of words is good, fast and hard. All these are adjectives. So when you're making an adverb, you're not adding any word to it. Either you are keeping the word as it is or you're changing the word. You're not adding anything. So good becomes well, fast remains fast and hard also remains hard. Now let's talk about the adverbs of time. Some adverbs and adverb phrases answer the question when. So adverbs of manner answer the question how and adverbs of time answer the question when. So whenever you have an example like the train has already left. So now if you ask a question that starts with when did the train leave? This will be your answer, that the train has already left. So already is the word that is telling us about the time. Yes, it is telling us when exactly has the train left. Alright. We moved into our new house last week. So when did we move into our new house? We moved into our new house last week. So last week is telling us about the time of the movement into the new house. I'm going to my new school tomorrow. Okay, so when am I going to my new school? I'm going to my new school tomorrow. So once again, tomorrow is an adverb of time. Now let us see some more examples. Yesterday, my friend and I attended a fair. Okay, well and fine. Yesterday is definitely referring to a time, to a day. Yes, that is why it is the adverb of time here. And it is also written in bold, so you'll be able to understand in a better way. I am still cleaning my room. Now let us see the next example also. I will clean my room tomorrow. Okay, now here in both the sentences the verb is clean. Okay, so in the first one, ing has been added. In the second one, there is no form, only the word clean has been used. Now, which word is modifying the word clean? That you have to find out. So, in the first one, the word still, that means the process of cleaning is still going on. Okay, so this is the reason why the word still is an adverb. Why? Because it is modifying your verb cleaning. I will clean my room tomorrow. So when will I clean my room? I'll do it tomorrow. Okay, so once again this word is also modifying the verb clean. Next example. Last week I went to the mall. I am going to the mall today. I need to visit the mall next week. So all these words that are referring to exactly when this particular thing is going to happen or has happened or is happening, these words are adverbs. So last week, today and next week are the adverbs that are modifying the verb went, going and need. The adverb of place is something that tells us where something happens. Alright, now students, in adverb of manner, the word for the question was how. In adverb of time, it was when. And in adverb of place, it is where. Alright, so some examples are everywhere, here, inside, there, underground, upstairs, etc. So every single word that tells you where exactly is this thing happening, where, you have to keep the word where in mind. That particular word is your adverb of place. They built a house nearby. Where did they build a house? They built a house nearby. Okay, so nearby is the adverb here. It is written in italics. He took the child outside. Where did he take the child? He took the child outside. Now he could have taken the child inside also. He could have taken the child upstairs. He could have taken the child downstairs. It could have been anything. But here the word outside is written. That is why outside is the adverb of place. I searched everywhere, but I couldn't find my keys. Here the word everywhere is telling us about which places has this person searched. So this is the adverb of place here. Come in here. Okay, so here is simply an adverb. You can easily understand that. Cats don't walk backwards. Okay, now backwards, upwards, eastwards, westwards, it could be anything. But since the word backwards is written here, hence this is the adverb of place for this particular sentence. Now let us talk about the adverbs of frequency. But students, first you should know what the word frequency means. It is a noun which means or which shows the rate of occurrence of something. Alright, so what do you mean by this? The rate of occurrence? How many times is a particular thing taking place? Okay, so the number of times any particular thing is happening or is taking place, that is the frequency of that particular thing. So if you have to define what you will write, adverbs that change or qualify the meaning of a sentence by telling us how often or how frequently something happens or an action is done are defined as adverbs of frequency. Alright, so now let us see some examples. Now students, one very important thing that you have to keep in mind is that, like for adverb of manner we have how, for adverb of time we have when, for adverbs of place we have where, for this one we have how often. So this is the question that you need to ask every time you find a sentence. So some examples are, the children always go to school on the bus. Yes, so always is the adverb of frequency. It is telling us how many times or what is the rate of their going to school in a bus is. Okay, I'll never make that mistake again. So the word never means that the person will never ever do this again. Okay, it will not happen again. I clean my bedroom every day. So every day is again telling us how many times it happens, what is the frequency of cleaning the bedroom is. Yes, it is every day. It is not once in 3 days or once in a week. No, it is every day. Dad polishes his shoes twice a week. It could have been once a week or thrice a week or 4 times a week, but no, it is twice a week, because it is telling us that the fact that dad polishes his shoes is something that takes place 2 times in a week. The incubator turns each egg hourly. So this is something that happens once in an hour. Okay, the incubator is a machine which turns eggs in an hour, every hour. We take a vacation at least once annually. Annually means once in a year. So we always go on a vacation once in a year. It could have been twice in a year or thrice in a year, but no, it happens only once annually, once in a year. I usually shop for groceries on Saturday mornings. So usually is the frequency or the adverb of frequency here. He is often late for work. Often, and we seldom see John. Seldom means very rarely. Okay. Now let us talk about the different degrees of comparison. The degrees of comparison is something that you have learned in adjectives, but this is something that can be applied to adverbs as well. So the positive, comparative and superlative degrees cannot just be applied to adjectives but to adverbs as well. So the adjectives that we have here in the positive form are angry, calm and wonderful, and when you change them into the comparative degree you are getting angrier, calmer and more wonderful. And finally, when in the superlative degree you are getting the words angriest, calmest and most wonderful. But when we are moving on to the adverbs, so what we are getting the same adjectives, but they have been changed into adverbs simply by adding ly. So in the positive form, the adverbs that we are getting are angrily, calmly and wonderfully. When you are talking in the comparative degree, so you're getting words like more angrily, more calmly and more wonderfully. And finally in the superlative degree we are getting words like most angrily, most calmly and most wonderfully. Alright students, with this we come to the end of our discussion of the chapter adverbs. I hope this video was helpful and it could fill in all the gaps that you had about this chapter. So we'll meet again with another video. Until then, stay safe and goodbye.